Hello, my dear students. Welcome back again after so many days to my channel, The Earth Society. And today again we are here with Class 7 Civics, Chapter 8, A Shirt in the Market. I think that you are also surprised by hearing the name of the chapter. What is it? A shirt in the market? That means here we are going to learn about a shirt. No. So let me explain you what is the main concept of this chapter. A shirt in the market. A shirt which is made up of cloth. If we take here the cotton cloth, then in this chapter we are going to learn the total procedure that from the farming land, means from the procedure of making cotton, how the clothes are sold in the market. This total procedure we are going to learn here. Which persons are involved in this procedure? What kinds of markets are present around us? Are they beneficial for each and every sector or not? This is the main concept of this chapter. So, before learning the main concept of the chapter, I want to provide you an overall description of the chapter. Or better, at first we will start with the textile manufacturing. Whenever you are going to the market to buy some clothes, we just take the finished product. But for making of this cloth, there are lots of procedures, many sectors, many peoples are involved for this work. So here at first we are going to learn the name of these sectors, or the total step-by-step procedure for manufacturing of the cloth. At first, the production of raw material, that means the production of raw cotton in agricultural field. Next, yarning, weaving, dyeing, knitting, and after that, cloth processing. So let us see this through some images. So at first, in the agricultural land, the farmers will produce the raw cotton. Then the farmers will sell this raw cotton to the yarning department. What is their work in yarning department? At first they will clean the cotton, because as they are coming from agricultural land, they are not clean in nature. So first work is the cleaning of the cotton and make out a very good quality of cotton from the raw cotton. After that, the yarning department will sell the product to weaving department. Alright? In this weaving department, they will start to weave the yarn. Okay, so that we can get or we can go to the next step. What is the next step? The next step is dyeing of the yarn or dyeing of the thread, the colorful thread, so that colorful dresses can be made. The next work is tailoring. Means through this yarn or through this thread, next the tailors, they will start making variety of dresses. Can be a sari, it can be the way any shirt, it can be any dress. But the tailoring or the tailors, they will make this. And before the work of tailor, in between dyeing and tailoring, we also can consider the person that is designer, who will at first make the design of the cloth, that which kind of clothes are going to be produced. And then after tailoring, we will get the finished product, a bunch of finished product. Now, so this is the total procedure for manufacturing of cotton products. After manufacturing of this cotton product, they directly go to the market for selling. There are many retailers, there are many shops are present who buy these clothes from the finished manufacturing industry and they sell to us. This is the total procedure, and for selling in the market there is also some other procedure like packaging of the product, transportation of the goods. Each and everything is involved here. Now if we move to the previous slide, you just think one factor from this. What is the factor? As lots of procedure from here to here, here to here, as lots of procedure are involved for manufacturing of cotton products, so the price of the product will also increase from one step to another. Suppose the farmer, they are selling the cotton, suppose per kg, just for an example I am saying here, suppose 1 kg of cotton they are selling 10 rupees, just 1 kg. After that, the yarning department will add their profit. Then the weaving department will add their profit, dyeing department, tailoring department, and after that the textile industry. So in this way the price of the product will increase as they move from one hand to another, and at last when it comes to us, it is the price already increase a very huge way. Okay. So now let us understand the total procedure or the first stage of the procedure through a story of Sapna. Who was Sapna? Let's know. Sapna was a small farmer in Kurnool. She grows cotton on her small piece of land. So where is the place Kurnool? Kurnool is in Andhra Pradesh. Once the cotton is collected, instead of selling it at Kurnool cotton market, so when the cotton cultivation is completed and Sapna collect all the cotton, after that she and her husband take the harvest, means take the cotton to the local trader. Why? What is the reason? Why are they moving to the local trader and not to the cotton market? Let's see. At the beginning of the cropping season, Sapna had borrowed 500 rupees from the trader at a very high interest rate to buy seeds, fertilizers, pesticides for cultivation. Okay, so that means for the cultivation of cotton or agricultural goods, we need seeds, good quality of fertilizer. Actually, the cotton is very much sensitive crop. If the farmer will not take care of the product, then insects can harm the cotton. That's why they need good quality of fertilizer, pesticides and proper care of the product. And because of that reason, Sapna had borrowed 500 rupees because she is a very small and poor farmer. But here the local trader made Sapna agree with to another condition. So at first, you understand this thing, at first the local trader said that you have to give high interest, as well as he made her promise to sell all her cotton to him. As well as the local trader also said to Sapna that all of your cotton you have to sell to me. Otherwise, I am not going to give you money. This way, he made blackmail, which is very wrong. After that, there is one conversation between Sapna and the trader. What is that? At the trader's yard, two of his men with the bags of cotton. They are waiting the cotton from Sapna at a price of 1,500 per quintal. So, for 1 quintal of cotton in the yarn market, you can see here one image is there. They are giving the poor farmer Sapna 1,500 rupees. The cotton fetches 6,000 rupees. The trader deducts 3,000 for repayment of loan and interest and pays Sapna only 3,000 rupees. So you just think that Sapna has borrowed only 500 rupees from the trader, and in return she has to pay 3,000 rupees. So much high interest is there. If I give you 500 rupees and in return I want 3,000 rupees, so is it a justice to you? Is it so? No, not at all. So, for Sapna also, it is not that much profitable. So, ultimately, Sapna is getting only 3,000 rupees. Trader. So, Sapna said, 3,000 only. Cotton is selling cheap. There is a lot of cotton in the market. Trader is saying, Sapna, I have toiled so hard for 4 months to grow this cotton. You can see how fine and clean the cotton is this time. I had hoped to get a much better price. Trader, Amma, I am giving you a good price. Other traders are not even paying this much. You can check at Kurnool market if you do not believe me. So now the trader is totally denying to give the more price to Sapna. Don't be angry, Sapna is telling. How can I doubt you? I had only hoped that we would earn enough from the cotton crop to last us a few months. Because by this price, she needs to run her total family. Because next coming month, there will be no cultivation for cotton. So they has to run with this much of money. How will they do that thing? By this small price. So profit or loss for Sapna. Though Sapna knows that cotton will sell for at least 1,800 per quintal. So in the main market, the price of cotton is quite high. Sapna knew the fact, but she had nothing to do because she had borrowed money and agreed with the contract by the trader. She doesn't argue further because the trader is very much powerful person. If she argue with him, then next time maybe he will not give any money. The trader is a powerful man in the village and the farmers have to depend on him for loans. not only for cultivation but also to meet other exigencies such as illness, children's school fees, etc. Also, there are times in the year when there is no work and no income for the farmers. Why? Because throughout the year they cannot grow the crops in the field. Sometimes they have to give the rest, and cotton cannot be grown throughout the year. So borrowing money is the only means of survival. So just by borrowing money, by providing high interest to the traders or the big traders, if I can say, they have to live in the village. So it is totally a loss deal for the poor farmers like Sapna. And year after year, you can see not only for cotton cultivation, for agricultural products, the farmers are not getting their proper price. That's why in newspaper, in TV channels, we can see that every year so many farmers are doing the suicide. That is because they cannot return the money which they have borrowed. That is very much a sad situation for our country. So Sapna's earning from the cotton cultivation is barely more than what she might have earned as a wage laborer. So a very less amount of money she was getting from the trader, and by this she needs to run her family. So I hope you understand the total fact. Now answer some questions. Who is Sapna? Why was she selling cotton to the local trader? Why had she borrowed money? How do the small farmers like Sapna get cheated by the traders? Explain the procedure of cloth making step by step. So thank you students. Have a nice day ahead. Till then, bye bye.